This is Shake and Bake, a product from the 70s that makes me feel old to recognize because when I polled my Discord server about whether or not they've cooked with it, they said, Shake and Bake is a product? I thought it was just a joke from Talladega Nights. It's effectively just salted and spiced breadcrumbs with a big plastic bag inside. You put the meat in the bag, shake it around, and then bake it at 400 degrees. They sell a chicken version and a pork version, but both versions work for both applications, and I eat far more chicken than pork. For the remainder of this video, I'll be referencing the cooking technique for chicken, but just know that you aren't actually limited to just poultry. After its stint in the hot box, the meat comes out not quite fried since there's no fat added, but a little crispy from the breadcrumbs toasting in the fat naturally present within the chicken meat. I thought Shake and Bake would be a much more relevant product in this air fryer age since it was such a historic player in the world of so-called oven fried chicken. But look what it's been reduced to. 2 quarter-cup packets of crumbs for $5. It doesn't even come with a plastic bag anymore. No wonder this brand has been forgotten. If you're good at cooking, you already know how you can make a higher quality version for less money. Into a giant Ziploc bag, add plain breadcrumbs plus whatever spices you like. When you make this yourself, you can choose between barbecue seasoning, ranch powder, hot green, or any all-purpose salt-free seasoning that day to match your mood and appetite, rather than limiting yourself to whichever flavors Kraft Heinz makes available. What's nice about spicing the crumbs, sans salt, is that you can season your meat with the appropriate amount of salt first before adding it into the shaker bag. Think about it. If you have a breading mixture that's pre-salted, the final dish might taste improperly seasoned if you use thin cuts, fattier cuts, or tiny nuggets. Better to make this stuff yourself, omit the salt entirely, salt the meat properly, and then apply tons of crumbs with total confidence that the final salinity will be bang on no matter what. By the way, you can customize the crumb itself by using homemade crumbs, fancy crumbs, gluten-free crumbs, or even mixing a 50-50 blend of regular and panko breadcrumbs so that the final product is extra light and crispy. When it comes to the post-shake bake, you would be wise to make 3 changes to the box instructions. First, crank up the heat. Instead of a 400-degree oven, I set mine to 450 with convection on. The chicken will cook far more quickly than the coating will darken, and that's why change number 2 is to flip the chicken halfway in. The parts that touch the hot metal sheet pan always come out darker and crispier than the parts that are just sitting in hot air. My final hot tip is to disregard the cook times on the box and go off of internal temperature instead. Chicken breast is cooked and safe to eat the second it hits 165 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's equally as safe if it's been at 150 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 minutes. People like to talk about internal temperatures of meat without also mentioning the duration for which it's held at that temp, and you can refer back to my video titled 9 Levels of Cooking Meat if this sounds too advanced around which to wrap your mind. Personally, I pull my baked breast after I verify that the thickest part has reached 150 degrees because the temperature will keep climbing, and so it's going to stay at or above 150 for at least 3 whole minutes. As for thighs, I'll let those ride to like 170, no problem. Thighs are hard to dry out. I don't want to make it feel like slightly overcooking a piece of baked chicken would be a disaster, but the main reason why I try to maintain a good level of juice within the meat is that for busy people, a daily driver recipe is really only as good as its leftovers, and these are quite good in a hot air fryer when they only need a few minutes to warm through. You could hit them with a short spray of oil first in an effort to enhance the crispiness, and suddenly they're just as satisfying as a sack of pre-made tenders, but homemade and a little bit healthier. If you are not interested in making a big batch, allow me to introduce you to a similar technique for a tiny batch that's faster, lazier, and totally minimizes cleanup time. I take 1 or 2 chicken breast cutlets, thin meat cooks more quickly, season it however I wish, directly on the sheet pan, this time with a pre-salted mix to reduce prep time, and slather it in a thin layer of mayo. The mayo makes the meat ready to accept a layer of breadcrumbs that I can press into the meat with my one chickeny hand. The application is less even for sure, less attractive. I wouldn't want to do this in front of somebody I wish to impress with culinary flair. It looks both weird and sloppy. This is a get the job done quick approach. Not shake and bake, but more dress and press. But I end up with breaded chicken pieces without the need to bust out a shaking bag, and since the mayo is mostly fat, it comes out even closer to fried chicken than the original method. It's so far removed from the original thesis of this video, which started as an observation on shake and bake, and so to recap for those who feel overwhelmed by how much they just saw: 1. Baked chicken is fine, but shake and bake adds a level of crisp. 2. Make your own shake and bake for improved customization. 3. Moisten the meat for improved crust adhesion, be that with water, milk, or mayo. 4. Shake it all together in a bag for even application, or go for the dress and press if you prefer speed over aesthetics. 5. Bake at 450 until the target temp has been reached. It's possible that shake and bake will remain a relic of a bygone pre-meal prep era where cooking a la minute was part of the deal. But when you strip away the novelty and observe the meta strategy of it all, it's a valuable technique for home cooks because it only adds a couple seconds of effort. It's almost as easy as regular baked chicken. It's halfway as tasty as deep fried chicken, but it doesn't need a 3-stage breading station that dusts your countertops with chickeny flour, and it doesn't leave you with a big pot full of hot oil to filter or toss. When you save that much time on cooking and cleanup, there's no telling how much free time you'll have for new hobbies. It's a goose. Typhur has paid to be mentioned at the end of this video. Typhur is the maker of the Typhur sink oven, which you saw me using earlier in this video. I feel as though the past couple of years were big for countertop convection ovens and wireless thermometer technology, so it's cool to see those two products finally come together in this way. The thermometer talks to the oven so it can shut off automatically when the food is done cooking. This thermometer has 5 internal sensors at plus or minus 0.5 degrees Fahrenheit NIST verified accuracy, so I can stick it into a 2-inch thick steak or an irregularly sized chicken breast and get an accurate reading with confidence. The oven component is no slouch with a 2400 RPM fan, dual heating elements, and a 27-quart capacity that allows you to air fry like 2 pounds of chicken wings in one batch. All the accessories are dishwasher safe, and there's a magnetic storage spot right here so you never lose the probe in a drawer full of tools. Get 10% off with the discount code Shaquille at checkout, and be aware that this does stack on top of the spring sale that just started on Typhur's website. That's code Shaquille for 10% off. The link is on your screen as well as in the description for this video.